Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We got the Texas and UTSA pregame show tonight with the boys. We got Gage Sheets, top right. We've got Cole Younger. What happened to Deshaun? Where'd he go, bro?
I'm not sure, man.
There he's back. We got Cole bottom left, first time on the channel. Welcome, Cole, and welcome back, Deshaun. Gentlemen, everyone doing okay today?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Doing good.
Good, man. Well, Gage will be with us for a little bit, bro. So I'm gonna start with you. Texas and UTSA. I don't think any of us really are worried about the overall, end result. What are you expecting or wanting rather to see on the field tomorrow at 6 o'clock for Texas?
I guess I want to see our younger guys play. It's gonna be we're gonna beat them pretty good. I don't think. I understand why they're hesitant on the 35-point spread, but yeah, I don't think UTSA is gonna be able to score. I don't think they're gonna be able to move the ball. So I'm most looking forward to seeing the younger guys play. Obviously, anytime we get to see Arch play, it's pretty electric. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Hopefully, we get a whole half of Arch.
Yeah, man, definitely would be cool to see the young guys. That means things probably went pretty well. What about you, Deshaun? What are you looking for Saturday on the field, bro?
Yeah, man, about the same. I think we've done a good job the first 2 weeks of getting Quinn well acquainted to the offense, and I really want to see what I'm looking towards most is getting that run game developed this game and just running the ball a lot more and try to pound them on the ground as much as we can.
I like that, man. Cole, anything in particular for yourself, sir?
Honestly, man, I just want to see us put them away early. And then I want to get Jonte Cook involved a little more than what we have so far, as well as Ryan Wingo.
I'm going to be honest with you, man. My main goal, great point at the end there, Cole. My main goal on Saturday might for a Wingo to score his first touchdown. Like, I want that so bad for the guy. I frustrated he didn't get in last week. And, so several things I want to say. Yeah, absolutely agree with you guys. Put them away early. We don't want to be down 17-7 against those guys again. That was a really, really yucky feeling when you're like, dang, there's a chance we might. What happened there? Okay, coming back. All right. Hey, there you go. It's a yucky feeling when you're down 17-7 to UTSA at home. And, I'm sure there was all types of things being said on Twitter or X, where we all hang out a pretty good bit. And so put them away early. Please, let's have that happen. Definitely want to see Arch, Gage. We always want to see Arch. We'll try it again.
Sorry.
Hey, man, missed you. He's like, don't compliment my point again. But no, you want to see Arch, but I really like what you said, Deshaun. I want to see that power run game. Obviously we've had that every year under Steve Sarkisian with Bijan and Roshan, and then last year with Jonathan Brooks and Cedric Baxter. Kind of what we wanted on the ground for most of the games we played, save Alabama and then at times OU. I want to see that because we're going to have to run the ball at times. It's going to take a big stress off of Quinn, a big load off of Quinn. And so I'm curious to see kind of concept-wise if we run a little more like the inside zone and duo stuff that we've ran the last few years, or if we just continue to hit them edges, man, because they're running the heck out of a wide zone, in which credit to Eric Nalin from Inside Texas. He even said when he came on, he said that he thought our best run concept would be the outside zone or wide zone. And that's what Jared Gibson scored on that touchdown up in the big house. Now, no particular order. Whoever wants to take this one first, go for it. Who were you most impressed with who wasn't Quinn Ewers from Texas playing up in Ann Arbor?
Gunnar Helm. That's mine.
Yeah.
He got my
100%.
He got my offensive game ball. Good pick.
Yeah, 100%. Gunnar Helm.
If I had to pick one out of the ordinary, I might go with Michael Taft. That dude was laying the wood, bro. He was hitting people hard Saturday.
Yeah, he's fun to watch, man. And then obviously that story, I didn't know anything about the story about why he wore 16 until last week, and I'm an emotional guy. That was really hard to watch for me, and I just have so much love for that dude now. I mean, we love all the kids, but I mean, those stories, those little different connections, sometimes they amplify your care and love for a guy. And so, yeah, want to see him kill it, dude. Every single snap that he was out there.
Yeah.
He's a warrior, man. Like, let's be real. What about you, Gage? Who from Saturday impressed you most that wasn't QB1?
I'll give you. Can I give you two? I'll give you
You
two.
can do as many as you want, buddy.
Uh, Andrew Bakuba. Obviously, I knew he was a dog, but it really showed last week in the secondary. And I think that's kind of him being there. It improves our secondary so much; it's unreal. And so I mean, his coverage was amazing, and I don't think he got an interception all of last year at Clemson, and he's already got one here this year. So that was pretty cool to see. And then I want to give the offensive line just dogs, bro.
Yeah.
Talking about the wide zone, being able to pull guys from the other side and then come around and just destroying people. I mean, just the physicality of the offensive line to be able to come around on those wide zones and just light people up was huge. And I know we talked about a lot with Michigan being able to run to the outside and get those defensive tackles moving sideways versus straight up and down. And having not only the physicality but the athleticism that our offensive line does to be able to do those pulls and get to the outside and just light that second level up. I mean, it adds another threat. So, I was really, really, really impressed with how much more athletic our offensive line looked than Michigan.
I do think it's absolutely hilarious that not going to call a kid out by name, but that they're resorting to hopping in DMs of Texas media members to proclaim that, hey, it wasn't what we saw, an ass kicking. It was, we're getting our butts held. Nah, buddy, they got whipped around, and it was very, very fun to watch. So good points. I like all of it, man. Michael Tass fun to watch. Andrew Makuba was huge. Gunnar Helm, dude, that first half, I mean, I didn't expect that out of Gunnar. I thought that was massive. Got Gunnar's dad, Blake, coming on the show soon. It's going to be a lot of fun. But that to me, man, obviously Quinn is a guy. I forgot to get the chat in here, guys. That's on me.
Oh, here you go.
There we go. But see, we even got a half Buckeye, half Sooner fan rooting for Ryan when we go to score. That guy's a player, man. All right, so we'll go ahead. We'll do the game balls. Give me a game ball from our offense, game ball defense, if you don't mind, gentlemen.
I'll go first. I guess if I had to, I'll take the simple route. I'll give it to Quinn. I think Quinn played the best game I think I've seen him play at the quarterback position against Michigan. It's debatable with a couple other games, but I think he really showed off his ability to extend drives on third down early in the game when things were getting a little difficult. He made plays with his feet and was able to extend drives, get the first downs that we needed, and putting the ball in the places in tight windows and just score touchdowns, man. I think that was huge for him. Huge game. And I think if I had to go defense, I would probably go with Makuba. I think he just played a 10 out of 10 game.
Yeah, no, he was rock solid. If you were, I mean, going in, we kind of like a lot of people thought the game would kind of fall on Quinn's shoulders and everything. Now, Deshaun, if you're doing game balls for tomorrow, offense and defense, who would you take? What's your prediction on those?
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, yes, sir. You are frozen,
Okay.
but we can hear you perfectly.
I'm frozen. If I had to go for tomorrow, I would have to go with Jaden Blue.
Okay.
And I'm going to say Manny. Manny's going to get his first pick, man.
I like that, man. Let's go ahead and get him pick 6, get him in the end zone. What about you, Cole? Game balls for tomorrow? Who would you go with, brother?
For tomorrow, I'm going to go with Jared Gibson. I think we're going to see a lot of him. Like I said, I think we're going to establish a power run game. And I'm a big Jared Gibson guy, so I think we're going to see a lot of him. Obviously, Blue and Wisner are going to get theirs. But I really want to see Jared Gibson just have a game. Yeah, and then defensively, I'm going to go Jalen Gilbo. because I was looking the other day. I didn't realize he was our leading tackler so far this year. And then
It's been really good.
he has been. I went back and watched Colorado State, Michigan. He's all over the field, dude. He is all over the field.
So we got Jalen Gilbo and you said Jared Gibson. I like that a lot. Gage, how about you, brother?
I think our defensive line has been like really, really close, especially on the edges.
Yep.
To really breaking out and having like a big sack performance and giving people the sack numbers that they've been begging for. So I'm gonna go Colin Simmons. I think Colin Simmons is gonna have a big game. I think he's gonna get another sack. We'll see. We'll see what else happens, but I'm gonna go Colin Simmons. On the offensive side, I really like the two running back picks, but I'll go ahead and go with Wingo. I think that last week he was involved, but obviously not as involved as Sark wanted him to be. Especially still being a freshman. That was the first big away game that he's played in. So I think that he's going to try to get Wingo involved as much as possible. And then obviously I think that the game's going to be a blowout. So I think he's going to get a lot of tank time, probably in the third quarter with Arch. So I'll go with Wingo. I think they're going to try to get Wingo the ball as much as possible and get him exposed.
Yeah, I mean, great point on Colin Simmons. He quietly had such a big game in Michigan when he got on the field. He was, pretty dang good on every snap that he had out there. And just because our sack totals aren't crazy high or anything, some people are using that as a knock against the D line when they don't realize maybe they do, they just don't want to talk about. But for one, we're flushing quarterbacks all over the pocket, whether it's Colorado State or it's Michigan. They're definitely getting in and having an effect. Like you said, they're getting very close. And also, at some point, Michigan quickly realized they're like, bro, we can't sit back in the pocket and hang out here. Like, we're going to have to do quick stuff. They were doing mostly in the first half, though. I think that they kind of knew that was their only shot was to hit us quick. But no, good picks, guys. I like all of that. I'm going to go with you, Gage, on the Ryan Wingo pick. I think we see him score. I think we have an 80-plus yard total yards from scrimmage for him. Normally I would just say receiving yards, so we just saw the man go for 50-plus on the ground. So I like the Ryan Wingo pick a lot. On defense, I'm going to go with Ant Hill, which is super standard, but I think this is a game where he can really get in there quickly in the first half, shut things down in the UTSA run game. They haven't looked very impressive. Quarterback play has struggled. The way Texas State beat them up and down, we got to beat them by more, right? Like, we have to beat UTSA by more than Texas State did. There's enough Bobcats on Twitter. Well, they're going to let us hear about it if we don't. But I not real sure what my prediction is. I'll let you guys go first. Total score. But what's the game prediction for score wise?
I think I'm going to go.
Go ahead.
I think I'm going to go 56-6, something like that. I don't think they'll score a lot.
Yeah, I get it, man. What about you, Gage?
Yeah, I personally want another shutout, but I would also I don't want to let them score. So I think I'm gonna go. Let's do 52-3.
Okay. Better. That's more than by what Texas State beat them. So I like it. What about you, Deshaun? How you got that score looking, bro?
Yeah, man. I think that a lot of backups are going to get quite a bit of playing time in that second half. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw out there. I'd say we beat them 48-10. I think that we're going to give up a late second half score with some backups in. Hold them to a field goal up until halftime, and they put up 7 after.
Yeah, I said I didn't have a pick, and you reminded me of my pick. I said 48-10 on the timeline yesterday. Same thing, man. I don't think UTSA is going to move the football on us, but at the same time, you know how it goes at the end of the game. Colorado State almost scored on us at the end. Michigan did. So give them a little love with the one touchdown, but dang sure would love, to keep them out of the end zone. Shutouts would be cool. It's just cool that we can even talk about shutting teams out again because we struggle on defense.
I think that Colorado State is probably a better team, in my opinion, than UTSA. So, and I just also want to say real quick, obviously I have to go, but the comment from UTSA's head coach about Texas. That was pretty cool. I don't know if y'all heard what he said this week, but he said, this is by far the most talented team that I mean the talent. I couldn't believe he said it at first. He's like, I had to rewatch it, but he said the talent gap between us and Texas is the largest it's ever been since I've been coaching.
Yeah.
And he said second stringers and first stringers are the same. And I just like feels pretty good after the last 14 years of getting beat up and down, like to hear another coach, especially a coach as well respected as he is in the state, to say something like that is super cool. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because just go back even to our backups. Like I expect our backups to run these dudes. Like I don't really think that they even have a talent matchup with our backups. So it'll be a fun game. I'm excited to sit down and relax before we start this. Over the next couple games before we really start to get into the meat of the schedule. So it'll be nice to have a couple. I want to call them bye weeks, but nice to have a couple games. I don't have to stress out too much.
Keep everything right with these games. Make sure we're finely tuned heading into SEC play. You need to get out of here, Gage.
Yeah, I got to get out of here. I got to catch my flight back to Texas.
Don't miss a flight, man, because been in Atlanta long enough.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, hook 'em. I'll talk to you soon.
Welcome, buddy. We'll see you soon, okay?
Yeah.
All right, guys. He made a good point that I wanted to bring up, and it slipped right out of my head. Jeff Traylor's comments. He said all those things about Texas being the most talented team since he's seen at UTSA. He also talked about the number of players he thought we had that were draft worthy as far as next draft class, and 14. Obviously we had 11 drafted last year. To see just other coaches and media talk about Texas in such a different light, it's warming inside, because there was a very short time ago we were getting drugged every which way by everybody, and who knows what coaches were saying privately. You know what I mean? So it is a nice feeling. He also said that like they chart and they on average it's like 3 to 6 pro players per roster that they see. Maybe guys that can play in the league, and he was like, and then you have 14. So. Overall, Cole, we haven't talked on the channel before. We haven't talked a ton, but what are your favorite things about the Texas football program at the moment? Are there still anything that concerns you overall? I mean, we're feeling really, really good off a big Michigan win. It's really easy to be a hype guy right now, but at the same time, I'm just curious, kind of your thoughts of the program overall as a whole, and then if there is anything that worries you, share that with us if you don't mind, please.
I think the only thing that concerns me is we've seen this team in the past, and I'll take Alabama last year, for example. You go to Bryant-Denny and you beat them, and then you come back home and play Wyoming. It's 10-10 in the fourth quarter.
Right.
So it's kind of like you get up for big games and you get down for not big games, I guess. I don't see that team doing this. I think they have the mental toughness not to do it, but it still scares me just a little bit.
Well, I mean, that's fair to me, because that Wyoming game was hard. I was at a wedding. I missed a lot of that. I get that concern. You want to go see them do it week in and week out. What about you?
I just want to see them take care of business.
Yeah. What about you? Do you think that type of slip up? I'm not saying we didn't lose the game to Wyoming, so it's not a real slip up. Do you think this Texas team is different, Deshaun? Are we going to put teams away like Houston, TCU? We don't play them anymore, but the teams that we should put away, you expect us to? Are the first half, big leads? Do you have worry about those? A couple of years there, we were blowing some halftime leads and letting teams back in the game, and even did it a couple times last year. We just happened to hang on. So, what are your thoughts on all that, bub?
Yeah, man. So I don't necessarily worry about that. The thing that I'm most proud of, the product on the field is good, man. But I think the thing that I've cherished the most about this team that Sark's built is the culture aspect of what he brings to the table, and just how close knit everything is behind the scenes. We only see the product that goes on the field, but from all the social media posts, the way that the guys interact that we see on Longhorn Twitter, you can just tell that this is a bond of brothers and that they really get behind each other. And I think that aspect will never allow them to waver in moments of temptation like that. Like when you get up and you start thinking that this game's over, I just don't think that they're going to allow a team like that to make it a game. I think that they're going to step on their necks. But I will say the only thing that I think worries me is I'm not too worried about it because I don't think a loss to Georgia does much to us. But I think going into that Georgia game, I don't see a team before that, and this is not a diss to Oklahoma at all. I think Oklahoma knows the state of their program. I just don't see a team that's going to really test us like we need to be tested before we hit that Georgia game. And it's going to be at home. It's going to be the biggest game of the year, possibly the biggest game the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I think that if they come out and punch us in the mouth, I'm really, really interested to see how we respond to that because I don't see a team really doing that to us up until that time.
Yeah, man, that's the only thing, and that's kind of where you talked about having that power run game, asserting more dominance in the run game. That's where, I think we got to be ready. They're good enough on defense. They're pretty elite everywhere you look. Kirby Smart is, he's an elite defensive mind. Sark and him will probably trade. They'll. I'm not saying they'll scratch even in that battle. We'll see who has the upper hand, but they're both going to have their small battles won in that. And so. That we got to be able to run the ball in that game, man. It makes everything a lot easier on Sark and Quinn as a play caller if you can turn around and trust that big, powerful offensive line and pick up some tough yards.
Right.
Overall, man, give me a letter grade for the running back room. I want your guys' opinion on this. Obviously, I don't know if everybody shared the same concerns as far as in this channel, but I feel to me like they've overperformed. Definitely exceeded my early season expectations. Just curious, give us a letter grade if you got one.
I think right now, honestly, I'll probably give like an A-. I've been thoroughly impressed with how we've been able to run the ball. I was a little nervous even going to that Colorado State game if we be able to run up the gut because, if you look at it, C.J. Baxter did most of that last year when Jonathan Brooks got hurt.
Yeah.
And we hadn't seen Jaden Blue do that yet. But he's impressed me. He's done that. And I think Trey Wisner has been better than we expected. And then Jared Gibson, when he's in the game, he's really, really good.
Good point. What about you, Deshaun?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to have to give it an A. I think that everything that they're being asked to do, they're doing it, and they're meeting and exceeding expectations, I think, of what they're being asked to do. The only reason I'm not going to give them an A+ is because we haven't seen that dominant run game, and we haven't seen them break off those big runs that, like, I don't know if y'all watched the Boise State game, but gosh, that kid ran all over Oregon's defense, man. And I would like to see Jaden Blue have a game like that where he puts up 150+, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I really liked your game ball pick, Cole, for Jarrett Gibson because I'm curious to see how much we use Blue tomorrow. A little bit of banged up. We got a couple weeks to kind of get ourselves right. I think Gibson could have a really big part in that one. But yeah, I agree with you guys. I think it's an A at minimum. We haven't seen that power, that run up the middle, and that might just not be how our offense works. But they've ran the concepts that they've been asked to run very well. They've been good in the passing game. When Quintravion came in and after the Blue got nicked up in the Michigan game, dude, that first run he had, I think it was like a 9-yard run, kind of off the left side. It was a tough run. Not a lot of room there. Really good patience, really good vision. Found a lot more yards than I would have found with the blocking that was held on that play. But very impressive, man. I will say between Quintravion. Obviously Jaden's a stud, but then Jaden, that I see why you're a big fan, Cole. Guy showed up, he came to ball. I think, maybe he was ready before the injury, and maybe he realized like, hey, I got a shot to get in there and compete and do some damage on the field. And so that's a guy I want to see a ton in the second half, man. I want to see him out there running the football a little bit. Get him in the end zone again. That's becoming a trend. So let's make what he's got 2, right? 1 in each game.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe he's our leading rusher too right now.
Yeah. And so, hey, man, there's no reason we can't use all 3 of those guys. And they all do things just a little bit differently. Obviously you're going to use Jaden and Quintravion a little more in the passing game. And that's not to say that they can't run the ball either, though. So very impressed, honestly, after, 3 or 4 weeks ago, a lot of people had some worries after the Cedric Baxter injury. And then shortly after that, the Christian Clark injury. But, pretty easy show tonight, guys. Texas should go in there and handle business right. Shouldn't be any worries. if there was anything out there, like if we give up 14 points to this team, 17 points, is that going to start giving you a little bit of it's going to like, hey, we got much bigger fish to fry down the line. Just kind of curious to see where your guys' minds are at.
I think it really just depends on the type of touchdowns or points we give up. If they're like garbage time points, it doesn't really bother me because our second and third stringers out there. But if it's like with our main guys out there and they're just driving down a couple drives with ease, it might give me a little worry. But I really am not too worried about this one, if I'm being honest.
No, of course. Sean?
Yeah, man. I mean, he took the words right out of the mouth. That's what I was going to say. If it's garbage time touchdowns with, second and third stringers out there, I expect us to have some miscommunications in the secondary, kind of like when Michigan was driving late that past game. They were kind of getting the ball down the field on us. I think that's a given when you've got some guys out there getting their first snaps of the game late third quarter.
Right.
So no, I wouldn't say it wouldn't worry me too much to give up 17 points. It just like he said, if it comes early, then I wouldn't say I'd worry about it. But there's some things that they're going to have to get fixed up going into SEC play.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I just like you said, man. I want to see them put it away early. If we get scored on late in the second half, part of it. I'm sure UTSA will still be pushing, trying to find something because they got whipped last weekend, and Coach Shirley's a good coach. He's going to want to find something with that offense, figure some points out somehow. So he'll go and hunt points down the stretch in a big blowout. I'm just hoping it is as big a blowout as we're all expecting. So both of you guys have Texas covering the 35.5 points, I think, with your prediction for 48-10 and then 56-6. What'd you say, Cole? Something along that nature?
Yeah, 56-6, yeah.
I mean, honestly, man, like it's kind of hard to think Texas doesn't score, around the 50 mark, and it's hard to think UTSA. So for anyone in the chat, if you might be looking for a side on this one, we're pretty comfortable with Texas. Texas is 2-0 against the spread so far. They're also 2 against the under. Both games have gone well under the total, and Texas has covered with ease, very much ease in both of their games. So if y'all are looking for trends, guys, y'all have any questions, any topics, anything y'all want to bring up?
Man, I had something, but it just slipped my mind too. Gosh dang it.
Take your time, bro. We're no rush at all. I know it's tough, man. There's a lot of different things thinking about all at once. A lot of different players. It's easy to be excited, man. We got a lot of different cats that contribute on this football team right now, and some of them are seniors, some of them are true freshmen, and we're in a blessed spot, man. It feels dang good.
Absolutely.
It does. I was thinking when y'all were talking about, or when we were talking about Wisner, the play I think that just stood out to me the most was when Quinn threw him that little wheel route, and then he hit Will Johnson and just threw him to the ground. That's a top 5 pick, probably.
I really thought that would go the other way just from the angle that they were running. I thought Will was going to run through him a little bit. And, yeah, man, I mean, he kind of went against his momentum, put Will Johnson on his ass. It was good to see. One of many, many cool moments from that game. I'll ask y'all this. One more question before we get out of here. At what point in the Michigan game did you realize it's like, all right, baby, this one is in the bag? Was it early, third quarter?
When Colston Loveland just dropped the ball.
That's good.
On that pass, where he hit his leg, it fell out of his hands. I was like, yeah, this is done.
Yeah, when that happened, I kind of was in the same boat. I was like, things are going our way for once. That's such a silly turnover, and it didn't happen to us. I'd say probably somewhere at the same time. How about you, Deshaun?
Yeah, man, not in a cocky way, but I mean, I was hanging with
Talk
Nicole.
That shit, bro.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. From the very first drive, man, when we had those 3 first downs on the first drive and we converted that, and you just saw the way that the offense was moving the ball, I just kind of had that feeling like this was if we're going to move that defensive line as good as we're going to move it in this first quarter, I just don't see this game not going our way. I think that was one of the most calm games I've ever watched because I don't feel like there was a time that we didn't control it. I will say there's one thing that I tweeted it after the game or maybe during the game, and I tweeted it kind of got some backlash. I said I want to see Sark learn to go for that kill and blow teams out and put teams away. And I think it got a bad connotation because some people were like, we did blow them out. And I was like, yeah, we beat them bad. But the thing that I'm talking about is we left too much points on the board. You know what I mean? And when you get to SEC ball, those points are going to be crucial. You can't leave 3 points out like that when you're in position to score. And of course, that first kick's not Bert Auburn's fault. I don't know exactly. Don't remember what happened, but man, just like putting those points on the board when they're there. I think at halftime we should have been up like 35-3, and instead we're going in there like 24-3 or something like that. So that's just one thing I want to see the team convert a little bit better on. I think it'll get better as the season goes on.
I mean, I definitely, we come out in the second half and it just looks like we're trying to get out of there. And part of me is like, okay, I get it. You want to avoid any injuries. You don't want to reveal anything. But at the same time, my mind goes back to the last couple of years, and I'm like, damn, we've grown some pretty big leads, and we're out here not necessarily playing with our food, maybe. I'm just going to assume we had ultimate trust in our defense against a very bad Michigan offense. But yeah, it's the same thing, man. Like, I know it. We don't have to do it right now, but I'm trying to see Quinn throw 160 in the air and let JC run under that bad boy. Let's house one. Yeah. They're not going to be. They're going to be playing you straight up. They're going to anticipate run in the second half, and let's just take some shots. But maybe that comes as the season goes. Maybe he's a lot smarter guy than I am, so I'm trusting with that. Deshaun, thanks for coming back, man. Look forward to you being back next Friday. Cole, welcome for the first time, brother. We'd love to have you back on as well, guys. Y'all have anything else at all before you get out of here?
Just a quick little question for you guys after, just to get out of here. What do you think so far? What position group has impressed y'all the most? Like, what do you think our most talented position group on the team is? If you just had to pick one.
Man, that's a tough question.
It is a tough question.
Tough, man. You could make an argument. I don't think there's a wrong answer between 4 or 5, and that's a testament to the blessed times we're talking about. I'll do it, man. I'll go ahead and be that guy. Give me the quarterback room. And I'm thinking about 4 other rooms immediately right there with it. But when you're talking about having Quinn Ewers in a third year and the RPO finesse, the confidence, the swag coming out of the tunnel, he's screaming, set it off with a few other choice words in there. That type of energy out of a quarterback, we haven't seen that. Not since Vince Young. Colt McCoy, fiery guy. Sam Ehlinger, fiery guy. Have a little drip with it. All right, that Quinn knows what he's doing right there, and big love, big respect to that. But then you're talking about the aura of Arch Manning, and I know that sounds silly, but there's an aura there. You can't deny it. It really is. He comes in the game, crowd goes insane, announcers get excited. Fans on Twitter react. It's part of it. And so to be in a spot like that, and to know with Coach Sark, if we're good at QB, that dude could scheme you or I open. Any of you, he could get us catches, get us. I'm maybe more so for y'all than I, but I have uber confidence in Coach Sark. And so a very long way of saying I like the quarterback room, but to be honest, I'll let Cole pick another room, or maybe he goes the same. But you could 4 or 5 other rooms, to be honest.
Man, I'm trying to decide between 2 here, so I'm gonna say like 1A, 1B because I can't pick it. I'm gonna go the receiver room, and then the DBs.
Whew.
I think the depth in the receiver room is the craziest I've not only seen at Texas, I've maybe in any school ever. I mean, you just go down that list, and it's just dog after dog after dog. I mean, and then the improvements through 2 games that guys like Jahdae Barron and Gilbo and Malik Muhammad and all that have made has really, really impressed me.
No, I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. You can make a pick for anyone. What about yours, Deshaun? It's tough, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I think I was going to go follow Cole and go probably at DB. I don't know. You might have a little bit more history knowledge than me, Ghost, but I really can't remember the last time Texas is probably rotating 5 or 6 guys that we're going to get to watch play on Sunday in that defensive back room. So this is a really fun time to watch our guys go back there and just lock it up for the most part, man.
No, it's really well said. You'd have to go all the way back to like 2005, 2006, 2000, and then maybe 2009 Texas where you're talking about multiple players in the secondary going, and then not just playing in the league, but being pretty damn good. You know, obviously
Yeah.
in 2005, you're talking about Michael Huff, you're talking about Terrell Brown, you're talking about the Griffin twins, Aaron Ross. These are all guys, you know, and so it's been 20 years, man. That 2005 secondary was absolutely loaded. They are not as fast as this secondary is. Michael Huff, if you ever hear him say that, he might get mad because that's a fast cat right there. But
Right.
it's special, dude. It really is. And just the leadership that Jahdae Barron shows, dude, I'd run through a wall for that kid, man. He's about it.
100%.
And balls to the wall on every single snap, maximum effort. Physical, man. That's what I like. So physical in the run game. That's another thing I like about JB, or JG, sorry. But yeah, it's a good time. I think y'all have the better answer than me because there's more depth there. It takes a lot of pieces playing at once, obviously. You're talking about a big time improvement in the secondary from the last couple of years. Now, I will say that, yeah, they are unproven. We do have to see more.
Yeah.
I am confident in them, as you gentlemen are as well. We'll see a real passing attack win. When will we see one? Mississippi State? Blake Shapen? Not really. Not these
I was
next
hoping
weekends.
for that one.
Not Oklahoma. Not the way it's looking
Not
right
Oklahoma.
now. They better get a lot better at quarterback and O-line first and get healthy at wide receiver, which they do have a couple coming back. Carson Beck, that's not just going to be a straight up passing attack, but they will have to be ready for Carson Beck in the whole play action game. I mean, absolutely. But yeah, man, good answers. That's a great question, Deshaun. I appreciate that one a lot. That's a really, really strong question. But yeah, tomorrow it's just take care of business. And there seems to be, you know, when we talked earlier about having worry about blowing some leads and things like that. And Deshaun, you said you know you're not really worried. I felt that so much, dude, because it feels different. And it might be the fan in me, but watching them operate, watching the way they do things, the way that they react to one another succeeding, the way they react to one another when a play doesn't go well, the way they take the field, it just feels different. It just very together, man. It definitely seems like these guys are like I have a lot of love for one another and a lot of I mean, it's a team. You should, you know, but unfortunately, that's not always the case, and it seems to be back. So, good points on everything, guys. Thank you again for joining the show. You guys, tomorrow we both got Texas, or we all three have Texas covering that spread. Tell the guys, you know, good night if you would. Sign us off. Give them any last words for the game tomorrow.
Go ahead, Cole.
Oh, well, like I said earlier, I really just want to see us put it away by halftime. That's all I want to see. That's all I want to see. I don't really care about anything else. Just have it be over by halftime.
That's all that matters. I like that. Get the young pups some run because they're pretty damn good and they're going to be playing a lot soon. What about you, Deshaun?
Yeah, man. Let's just let's go out there. Let's handle business. I like Sark saying hard all day. Doesn't matter who comes into the 40. Make it a business trip. Leave it at that. Get out of there healthy, man, and handle business. That's what I want to see.
Exactly that, bro. We're not a finished product, and that's the key. It's another step tomorrow. Let's get everybody some runs. Stay healthy. You guys, I hope to see you at DKR tomorrow. Would love to do so. But yeah, man, let's have a hell of a college football Saturday. Good luck to everybody out there. Good luck to your teams if you're not rooting for ours. And to be honest, that kind of stinks for you right now because we're coming, baby. We're coming.